Death to weakness. What's up, folks? This is Justin Garcia, aka Master Chim, and I'm here with the white weakness.
That's good.
Patrick Kelly, white boy. Pat.
What's up? Does that mean I'm like kryptonite for white people?
You're the weakness. You're the weakness.
I make them weaker.
What is it? They say they like the rock stars, like
What?
They make the girls weak in the knees.
Oh, weak in the knees. Yeah,
Right.
sure.
You make white people weak in the knees.
That's funny. That's funny.
Weakening knees everywhere. White boy Pat. Welcome to another episode of The Pressure Project. ThePressureProject.com is our website. Info@ThePressureProject.com is our contact email. The Pressure Project members is our member site. Check it out. We have now, keeping a running count, over 150 episodes archived.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. We have a couple bonus episodes that don't even have numbers.
That don't even have numbers. So that's even more then.
Yeah, it's even more.
Holy crap. So, yeah, like almost 160 episodes archived.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's funny because I was researching some stuff for this episode, and you see the evolution of not only our style, but I guess the nuanced nature of our content.
Yeah.
Because we put out so much content.
Yeah.
But it's like I wound up playing a couple of episodes this last 24 hours, and like I'm sitting down listening to it, and I'm there, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm like it's like this is good stuff.
It even had the old picture. The old setup.
Yeah.
That was the day one before we started recording. You were like, "Hey, look over here." I was like, "What's going?" I'm like setting something up. Look over.
Yep, that was our logo for like the first 6 months or something.
Yeah,
but we've come a long way. But
definitely.
The member site has all those episodes archived. Some really, really good ones. And we have the loyalty matrix decoded. We have the forum. A lot of good stuff.
Now, this is unrelated, but it's on my head, so I'm going to say it.
Okay.
A joke. Okay. So they asked Barbie, how come you never get pregnant? She says, because Ken comes in another box.
Okay.
Anyway.
And that is the random... Sometimes I guess it's either you let it out or you get medicated, I guess.
Or it was going to be that, or it'd be in my head and I would just been distracting.
All right.
So
I think they call that Tourette's.
Yeah, they might call that Tourette's.
All right.
Or autism.
Autism.
One of the two.
Spectrum 5.
Spectrum 5. Anyway.
Okay. So death to weakness.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about not only we're going to redefine what weakness is, because that's something that's often
misconstrued.
It's misconstrued, but it's really like I don't blame anybody for having a different definition of weakness.
Yeah.
But I do blame them when they don't realize that other people have different definitions.
Yeah.
Or definitions that may not be congruent with theirs.
True.
And if I'm speaking on weakness, I'm speaking from the perspective of my definition of weakness.
Yeah.
Right. So we define weakness here at the Pressure Project as the condition of lacking an active pursuit of strength.
Yes.
Okay. The condition of lacking an active pursuit of strength. The metaphor is it doesn't matter what rung on the ladder you are, so long as you are climbing or trying your best to climb.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
As soon as you say, I'm not climbing, that is weakness. As soon as you say that climbing has no value nor virtue, that is weakness. So that is what we're referring to.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, because I'm 275 pounds and I'm a power lifter, you know, as soon as I start talking about weakness, everybody always thinks I'm talking about physically.
Of course.
And that's certainly a part of it, but it's all about the process of the individual. If you apply a master morality type perspective to the topic, it only makes sense that I'm asking people to compare themselves in terms of themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So even physical strength, something is only physically weak when compared to something that is stronger.
Yeah.
Right. But if wherever you are physically is weak compared to where you are 6 months from now physically, then we have that weakness strength dynamic starting to play itself out.
And too many people raise their hands, feeling that you're calling them weak.
Well, then you get the receiver mindset, as they would say in SOC. It is the slave morality, as Nietzsche would say.
Like the skinny arm post you put up.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
People went
And sometimes it's so easy. It's like, look what happens when I do this.
Yeah.
You know, and we're behind
is.
the scenes, you know, being entertained by the whole notion. But it really it really becomes predictable. And that is at the heart of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
You know, it's these people that are so easily controlled and manipulated. But ultimately their very presence just eats at the very core of our society.
Yes.
Certainly at the core of masculinity.
Yeah.
Right? So what we decided to do, the way I decided to frame this conversation today is we're going to pick 5 guys that we want to see beheaded in the public square.
Yeah. That works.
And no, they're not going to be specific individuals because that's when the feds show up.
It's usually.
It's more of a representative metaphorical, you know, assassination.
Correct. Of this type of person.
An execution.
If these types of people no longer existed.
Right. Because it's the type
It's
that
the
we're
type,
trying to get rid of. Right.
Yes.
So we have 5. Today we're going to start with number 1.
Number 1.
Which makes sense.
Usually.
And is the what does it matter to you guy?
These aren't in ascending or descending. It's just
they're just 5.
Just 5.
So the what does it matter to you guy?
Yeah, what does it matter to you?
So this is the guy who wants to chastise you, ironically, for having an opinion on something that he sees not affecting you.
Correct.
But then he has an opinion on it, which completely contradicts his position.
Yeah.
Right? But oftentimes the reason why these guys, aside from the just inherent hypocrisy of having a negative opinion on people who have negative opinions, right?
Yep.
It is often beyond their ability to understand or connect why a given individual or group may take issue with another individual or group.
Yeah.
Right. So why does the this come up as one of the types? Instead of archetypes, we're going weaker types.
Weaker types. Yeah.
One of the weaker types.
Is this the guy also, what's the big deal guy? Same guy?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be. But I'm thinking like the thing that really made me put this on the list was the homo marriage.
Yeah. A lot of people.
How does it affect you?
How does it affect you? Why are you talking about this? It's like, why are you talking about it?
What does it matter? What does it matter to you that people love each other?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why don't you want love to win?
It's like, who exactly approved homo marriage?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court of the government of the country I live in.
Yes.
This directly affects me.
Yeah.
These are decisions the government that controls the land I live in is deciding.
Most people did not, or I would say had a disconnect between the fact that the government made a decision and what the decision was, or what the decision was about. You know, most of the people were not happy with the way the decision was made. Irrelevant about what the decision was. Right. It could have been.
Why are you against homos?
Yeah. Why
are you against? Listen, love wins.
Yeah.
Love didn't win.
Supreme Court won.
Supreme Court won. Like it happened in court.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing to do with love.
No. And then it starts a trend of craziness.
Right. So the what does it matter to you guy is the guy that refuses to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Because his emotion and weakness just covers everything.
Yeah.
He already has the conclusion in his mind. He already has the process all mapped out. And what is actually happening, or what may be the experience of other individuals, he is completely blind to.
Yeah. And then, also blind to the lasting ramifications.
Right.
Like with the gay bakery situation.
Right.
Like they're going after their house now. They're like, and they can appeal it, but if they appeal it, they might not get their money back. So if they pay them the $135,000 and then win the appeal, they'd have to now try to get their money back, which they probably never would.
Right. So now with that, I heard new information.
Okay.
That apparently there's a gag order in effect.
Yeah.
But what is actually happening with that scenario is the Christian bakers are getting into are in a legal predicament because of how they handled the rejection of that gay couple's cake request.
Okay.
That they were giving out their address and phone number and attacking them within the community, and somehow that led to them being sued and having lost a lawsuit.
They were attacking the gay people?
Yeah, like saying, can you believe these people are asking us to go against our wishes? And I'm speculating based on the
This
information.
is before or after the court case? Like
This is before. This is initially.
Oh.
This is what happened. This is what led to the court case.
So those people sued them for that.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying there's a gag order.
I see.
Right?
Yeah, there's a gag order.
So a couple of friends of ours were discussing it.
Yeah.
Wolf and Rich. and I said, well, what I find myself in is I'm caught between homo marriage and Christianity.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, a cock and a tard place.
I thought there was going to be a gag order joke in there too.
I could have worked one in, given a little bit more time.
Yeah.
No pun intended. So,
understood. But anyway,
maybe that is the game.
But that's the point. These guys don't see the big picture.
Right. It's what does it matter to you? So any single time somebody says something and you say, what does it matter to you?
Yeah.
Basically what you're trying to do is just undermine their right to express who they are and what they feel.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Pretty much.
And hey, sometimes it be like that.
Sometimes it's got to be like
sometimes you tell somebody to shut up, but you understand that you're not exactly having any sort of rational intellectual discourse.
Yeah.
If one of the people just wants the other side to stop talking.
Stop talking. Yeah. Kind of changes the game a little bit.
Right. So the what does it matter to you guy? Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Terrible.
Number two. The hypermasculinity is evil guy.
Yeah. The triggered guy.
Trigger.
Trigger.
I got more triggers than bullets. I got no bullets. I'm all triggers.
I'm all triggers, no bullets. That's good.
My magazine is loaded with more triggers.
Yeah, that's that guy.
Oh my God. So hypermasculinity, first off, does not exist.
Yeah, what is that?
There is no hypermasculinity.
I saw some funny pictures of like people making fun of hypermasculinity. Like it was like Q-tips. Mm-hmm. It was like man something. I don't even know what. Like steel reinforced Q-tips. Or like they were trying to market towards like what people think is hypermasculine. It was just silly.
So like the actual like wording.
Yeah.
Right. The makeup of the term.
Yes.
Hypermasculinity. Hyper as a prefix.
Yeah.
What does hyper mean as a prefix?
It means.
Look it up.
Oh, I know what it means. It means greater or more.
See, more as in it transcends the original set of what the very thing
like
is.
Hypo is less.
Like
hyper.
Beyond or at the higher sort of part like of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Like, is it if masculinity is from 0 to 100, is hypermasculine 95 to 100, or is it 100 plus?
I get it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Not the vague definition, like mathematically what it means.
Like words mean things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because if you have masculinity, and you define masculinity as those things that men do.
Yeah, this just says. A prefix often used in scientific and technical words to denote, that's just the way that sounds, scientific and technical words. I'm going to say some cop words at you. Anyway, to denote something above or beyond the usual, normal, expected, or healthy level, sometimes used to mean extreme or specifically more than super. Like instead of supersonic, hypersonic. Hypersonic is faster, much faster than the speed of sound. We're supersonic.
So, like, we didn't even go to super masculine yet because I think that sounds much better.
Like hypernova instead of supernova. I
know you're just gonna keep running off examples. We get it, right? Nobody knows what the hell either one of those things are. By the way, the whole notion that somebody could become so masculine,
they skip super.
That they're right. They've skipped super masculine. By the way,
they skipped
and
that.
Now they're hyper masculine.
They're just running around biting shit.
It is just fucking and biting.
Just running around biting people.
Either bite it or fuck it. One of the two. Or kill it. When you're done, kill it.
Kill it. Bite it, fucking kill it. That's like, those games? Like marry, fuck, or kill? Now it's bite, fucking kill.
So so this is
Yeah.
the the mindset of weakness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hypermasculinity is evil.
Yeah.
Right. So
What does
obviously
it even
evil,
mean? Like,
right. So evil is a slave term.
yes, obviously.
It's the universe is out to get me type of mindset.
Yeah.
And applying it to the hypermasculinity model, or I guess idea,
Yeah.
it's the woe is me. You're acting in a way that is uncomfortable for me, so I will therefore try to change you rather than change me.
Yeah.
Like
Stop
anybody,
triggering me.
right? So the whole thing is, if anybody is hypermasculine, I would be considered hypermasculine because
Sure.
anything that's ever been accused of being hypermasculine, I see as just masculine.
Yeah.
So
Like,
if-
what's an example of something that hypermasculine that people say?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Like, what do they say? They like the violence, like
Okay.
like
Yeah, I've had people react seeing like student of violence shirt and be like, "Whoa,
right, and that's the whole thing.
whoa, violence."
It's something that if there are enough people that see it as being normal, then how does it deserve any special classification?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I
all
get
of our friends are all like us.
Yeah.
So if are we all hyper masculine at some point?
We walk
It's
into
like
a
it's supply and demand. Like we just
Yeah.
become masculine.
we walk into Waffle House, people are like, "Oh man, those are the hyper masculine guys."
The men start crying. The women start groveling.
They start crying from a different place. Anyway,
I tried to stay away from that.
I know, but I
That was
like
good.
it.
No, that was good. That was a
just
better
jump
better
right
way
in.
to do it.
Yeah.
So hypermasculinity, and we're talking about the hypermasculinity is evil guy.
Yeah, the guy.
So the guy, because now women don't understand what the fuck is going on.
No.
They don't understand why they're attracted to men that are seemingly so hyper masculine.
Yeah. Some of them get it.
Some of them
don't.
get it. Some of them get it and then get it. But the whole thing is,
Yeah.
I don't expect women to understand masculinity.
Understood, because they're women.
Right.
Yeah.
But the men who sit there and condemn masculine men,
Who clutch their handbags.
right? It is not a mystery. It's not any really sort of confusing situation that we're trying to decipher.
Yeah.
Like weak men don't like strong men.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Of course, why would they?
Because they, and I
Yeah.
understand the rhetorical nature of the question, but
course.
moving on,
Yeah.
it is part or a condition of weakness that you compare yourself to other people, right?
Yeah.
Slave morality. So they are, of course, going to condemn people that they see as superior to them,
Yeah.
right?
The lion
can-
does not like the lamb,
Right. Nor the lamb, the lion.
Yeah.
So this is how these things come to be. Jack calls it. What does he call it again? Betrayal.
Oh, the what's it called?
Betrayal. Come on.
No, it's the dishonorable. What is it? I just had it. We just said it the other day.
Something dishonor.
Yeah.
Brain fart.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my
It'll come
God,
to me. It'll
This
come to
is ridiculous.
me. It'll come to me.
We say this all the time.
Yeah. It's
Dishonor.
dishonor. There's dishonor in it.
Dishonor. Well, dishonor.
Yeah. Dishonor.
Jack Donovan's idea. You guys know what
Jack
I'm talking
Donovan's idea of dishonor.
about. You know my limitations.
I'll think of it.
In our school, by the way, we're not allowed to say you know what I mean.
Yeah,
We
true.
have to say you know our limitations.
You know our limitations.
So whenever you hear us say that, that's what we're referring to.
Oh, it'll pop in my head and I'll just say it.
Flamboyant dishonor.
Flamboyant dishonor. That's
Bam.
it. Done. Yeah.
Done. Flamboyant dishonor.
Last time I had it, this time you had it. It's
you
good.
go.
That's why we're a team.
So thanks for bringing up that you had it before then.
I did.
Because you had nothing to do with me saying it, by the way.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
But now it's us.
Yes, now it's both of us.
So hypermasculinity is
Flamboyant
evil.
dishonor.
Flamboyant dishonor. These are the guys that are physically weak, that can't just admire people who are physically strong, right? Or give them credit for anything. They have to condemn it. They have to say, oh, well, the whole notion that physical strength is virtuous is flawed,
Yeah.
right? Or evil, right? So this is what you get, and this is what this is born of, right? So
Yeah.
the hypermasculinity is evil guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. 100%.
Number 3,
Number 3.
the white knight guy.
Yeah.
Not the white guy,
Not the white guy.
the white knight guy.
The white knight.
So
Different.
the white knight guy is the guy who defends other people's causes.
Correct. That
He
has nothing.
fights, for other people's causes.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with him.
Nothing to do with him at all.
Right? Nothing to do with him.
No.
He is like a weakness mercenary. Right?
Yeah.
He is recruited by weak causes to fight for them.
Yes.
The
Sometimes not recruited by them. Sometimes
Right.
they don't want him.
Right. Well, this is the thing. Sometimes instead of being hired by weakness to fight for them,
Yeah.
they fight for them and then look for payment. Right.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of probably more normal an order of events.
Especially with the guys who are trying to impress women.
Well, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
You have the guys that, the guy who says, I'm a feminist. It's
Yeah.
like, what kind of fucking tomfuckery is going on in your head
Yep.
that you said, you know what? I need to exclaim to other people that I am a feminist. Like, I understand wanting to support the rights of women
Or being a fan of women.
or being a fan of women,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing wrong with that.
Or agreeing with certain positions that women may have concerning women.
Yeah.
But to identify oneself as a feminist
Yeah.
is such a sort of move away from all those things that you already are a member of.
Yeah.
It's the guy who belongs to all these other groups that decides to totally ignore all those other groups because he chooses to be identified by one he is not even attached to.
Yeah. Not even at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It makes sense.
So the white knight guy is the guy who can't win or favor of the people he's trying to defend. So to me, he's the guy, like I've seen this happen in movies and in books before, where you have the guy who wants to impress the girl.
Yeah.
So he stages some sort of a robbery where he comes to her defense.
Yeah. That's
and
funny.
he defends her, and the robber, who's really like his buddy, gets
Yep.
away.
Yeah.
But now the girl loves him because
Sure.
he defended. Well, that's what I see these white knights as.
Yeah.
Because instead of designing some sort of fraudulent robbery,
Yeah.
what they do is they design and support fraudulent issues.
They do.
I like if I see another guy on Facebook yelling and exclaiming about a wage gap between men and women.
Yeah.
The wage gap doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay. The notion that women are paid less than men just because they are women is bullshit.
Yeah.
But you have guys arguing for it. Why? Because women will see them arguing for it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the ironic thing, or the funny thing, or the justice, aspect of the universe as applied to the situation is that these guys never get laid.
Yeah. Generally.
They never get the girl.
Generally speaking, that's what happens.
Because you know what attracts women?
Not that.
Masculine men.
Yeah.
Masculine men. Because it's chemical, right? It's physical. It's
Yeah.
natural. When you act like a cunt, you are not going to attract a cunt.
That is correct. It's like a magnet.
It's like the magnets.
each other
It's like
apart.
the opposites are the
Yeah.
ones that attract, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So didn't think I'd use that
What?
visual, but you know what I
magnets?
mean. Well, the one leading to the magnets. So the whole thing with the White Knight, he's somebody who's speaking.
He just wants the scissor.
Right, he just wants a scissor. Exactly right. And he's somebody who's speaking a language that is not native to him, in conversations that he doesn't belong in.
Yeah. Defending people that don't need his help.
Right. So he winds up becoming rejected by men.
Yep.
And never fully accepted by women.
No, or pitied.
Right.
So
this is like this like no man's land that they create for themselves.
gay best friend.
The gay best friend.
Yeah, that's
Friend
not
zone.
That's not gay. The not
Friend
gay
zone.
Yeah, the friend zone. I can
and
talk to you so much.
It's like, oh, you're so great.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
I
you're so
wait.
nice.
I can't wait till you come over later so I can tell you about this guy I met today.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll bring the quiche. Fag.
Yeah.
So the white knight guy,
White knight guy.
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So next,
Yes.
the we're all one guy.
Yeah. We're all one.
The we're all one guy. He's the guy who wants to say, guys, we're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's one race, the human race.
It's a race.
He's the guy that does not have the strength, the culture, the sophistication, or the experience to deal with the inevitable reality that people are different.
People are different with different issues.
Different issues with different histories,
Yeah.
with different customs and traditions,
Yeah.
with different languages, with different appearances, with different preferences. We're not all one.
We're not.
Because saying we're all one completely rejects all of those things I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So when you say, well, I don't mean that, you know, people shouldn't be proud of who they are, where they come from. What I mean is we all need to understand we're in this together. So I will answer that or respond to that by saying, so what you're saying is we're not all one,
Yeah.
but we need to work together regardless of that fact.
Yeah.
Which is much different and much more easily put and accurately put in other ways.
Yeah.
Than saying we're all one. We're not all one,
We're not.
right?
We're not.
So when you look at, you know, a lot of the people who support, you know, multiculturalism, aka, you know, cultural Marxism,
Yeah.
what you'll find is two main groups, right? Probably a lot of other fringe groups, but the two main groups that I see
Yeah.
are the button pushers.
Yep.
They're the ones who are behind the scenes, initiating all these things, benefiting from it,
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
right? And the useful idiots, right? Lenin's useful idiots.
Yeah.
These are the guys that are exclaiming the value of having a multicultural society.
Yeah.
I saw the other day, and it pissed me off. And I know it's hard to think that I can get pissed off, but
Yeah. It's a stretch.
I'm looking at this this photo shoot. It was in the context of an article talking about multiculturalism.
Okay.
And it was a photo shoot that a very talented photographer, I won't deny the talent of the photographer, but what she had done was get all these mixed race couples and their children
Okay.
and take photos of them.
Yeah.
And was talking about how beautiful they were.
Well, was it black and white? Because it's all gray.
Well, ironically, they were all black and white photos, but
Yeah.
they were talking about the beauty of these people, and you know, specifically the mixed children. And
Okay.
so now it was a supportive article, right? So the article was in support of this,
Yeah.
talking about, look, see how beautiful mixed. And then what I loved was in the comment section of this, which made me feel better.
Yeah.
Because of feelings,
Yes.
my feelings,
Right in the feels.
It helped me control my feels.
Good.
Was that all these people were basically just saying it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, and people of all races,
Yeah.
you know? So you saying, you know, there was one where a black woman had, and you could tell these are all like these hippy dippy, you know, fucking, you know, I live in the village in New York City,
Yeah. Sure.
you know, type of fucking idiots.
Bohemian.
You know, I eat fucking oatmeal pizza, shit like that.
Oatmeal Pete. They have that.
I don't fucking know.
Oh,
so
man.
probably.
That sounds
So-
terrible.
When there was a black woman and her mixed kids, obviously white father. The father wasn't in the picture.
Okay.
And so you have these dark-skinned kids with these light eyes, very exotic-looking kids.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of people that wrote, you know, so are you saying the black woman isn't beautiful by herself? Are you saying that if she were to have children who didn't have eye colors like white people,
They'd be
that they
boring.
wouldn't be beautiful? Are
Yeah.
you saying? And then you have the other people who are talking about the white people
Yeah.
that are saying, you know, so are we saying that, you know, children who look like their parents are no longer beautiful?
Yeah.
So everybody individually from
Yeah.
different groups were
Yeah.
all defending the concept that embracing who you are
It's a good thing.
is strong,
Yeah.
right? And is a good thing,
Of course.
right? So the we're all one guy fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Right? And fuck that guy because he's the guy who doesn't realize that all the button pushers behind the scenes, all the people pulling the strings of society, do nothing but benefit by having all of us become one just blob
Yep.
of a consumer race.
Yep. Turn, smile, shift, repeat.
Right.
Just move down the assembly line.
Exactly right. So the we're all one guy, fuck that guy.
Yeah, 100%.
So the last one.
Yes. Number
Read it.
5. The it's all your fault guy.
It's all your fault.
It's all your fault that I'm a fucking loser.
Right. This is the slave.
Slave
That's
mentality.
what this
Yeah.
is.
Not the slaves that built the pyramids.
Right. What's it called? Slaves
Built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America.
America.
Yeah.
Thank you, slaves.
Yep. This is your song. Thank you, slaves.
What show was that from?
Wonder Chosen from
Wonder
MTV.
Chosen.
It's a funny show.
Incredible scene.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff on that show.
So the it's your fault guy.
Yeah.
The it's your fault guy is the guy who looks at everything as a victim.
Yep.
He's the guy who rejects. He's the guy that gets a toy as a child and immediately takes the batteries out and throws them down the block and says, "This toy doesn't work." He removes all power.
Yes.
Right? So
That's
he
funny.
knows going there, right?
Yeah, it's
so
good.
he's the guy who rejects any notion that he has any degree of accountability or power in any situation.
Yeah.
He's the guy that looks at all the things that are against him, all the things that would have him be resilient,
Yeah.
and he condemns them and cites them as the reason why he cannot accomplish anything.
Yep.
I can't lift weights. Why not? Because they're heavy.
Yeah.
He's that guy,
Yeah. He's that guy.
you know? I don't want to buy an umbrella. Why? Because that means that I'm going to go outside when it's raining.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like his positions are never based in strength. They're never based in self-reliance or
No.
autonomy.
Just excuse. I can't get that job because racism.
Right. And he's the guy who wants to talk about, I'll get a little controversial here.
Oh, we don't do that.
It's
Though.
happened on
Wait a
occasion.
second.
We're due.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
due.
Let's get some.
I pay my taxes.
Let's do it.
So, rape victims.
Okay. Rape victims.
I have met many rape victims over the years. And women.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of.
Understood.
We're talking about the it's your fault guy, but this example pertains to women. And the women who are raped and for the rest of their lives are affected traumatically by
Yeah.
that experience, I'm not speaking on. I don't condemn them. I don't judge them.
Sure.
I'm indifferent to, applying them to this situation
Okay.
or this conversation, I should say. What I do want to speak on, though, are those women who were raped, who refuse to let it define who they are.
Yeah.
I once knew a woman who talked about, like, it was almost surreal in the context of the conversation we were having. She used to illustrate her point. Like I remember one time, I was 11. One of my school teachers, held me after class and put his hands down my pants and violated me, penetrated me, did all these different things. And I hated that guy. And, it took me a while to even trust men after that. But when I look back on it, I realized that, and she's talking about it in a way like that I can't even have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I'll just let her vent, because I don't want to touch this shit with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
But the way that she spoke about an experience that would be accepted as being traumatic, as being something that would alter somebody's identity, very identity.
It would. Yeah.
Hearing this woman talk about it, like it was like, yeah, I got into a fight after school, but fuck that kid.
Yeah.
That's
powerful.
It was incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And it's not something that if it was traumatic that I would even judge her for, but an example of somebody who is in a situation that everybody would accept as being traumatic. Everybody would expect her to be a victim.
Correct.
She refused.
Refused.
Because you have a choice. You always have a choice.
Always have a choice.
So the it's all your fault guy is the guy that always chooses weakness.
Always.
You know,
Even when the stakes are less than that.
right.
You know.
So in our experiences dealing with some like we've had conversations with soldiers before.
Yeah.
Right. Or as our friends say, military guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the cool conversations that we've had before concerning death.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my buddies talking about how even in the face of death, meaning people who are in an imminent situation, whether it be one of these ISIS scenarios or they're pinned down and they know that it's just a matter of the guys getting through the door and they're done. How even in the most dire of circumstances, they could still decide to be strong.
Yeah, of course.
And the outcome of them dying has little to no effect on the decisions they continue to make while they're still alive.
Correct. Yeah.
It's sort of my chest, not on my back. It's the whole notion that we always have a choice.
Yeah. Sing your death song and return home a hero.
So if you have the situation where, it seems like the choice has been taken away from you, you still have to remind yourself there will never exist a situation where you do not have a choice.
Correct.
Right? Life is dichotomy, like a dichotomy of options.
Yeah.
We can go this way or that way.
Yep.
And everything can be reduced to that.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful mindset, a powerful philosophy to have. And the it's your fault guy is the exact opposite.
The exact opposite.
He's saying no matter what I did,
yep,
I would still suffer what I'm suffering from.
Yeah.
It is beyond me. There's nothing I could do about it.
Nothing
and it defines me.
Yep.
Not only am I suffering, not only am I a victim, not only were all my options taken away, but I am by definition a sufferer of this. This is who I am.
Yeah. It's everyone's fault but mine.
Right.
It's all your fault.
So the it's your fault guy?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So let's review the list.
Okay, let's review it.
Number 1, the what does it matter to you guy.
Yeah.
Number 2, the hypermasculinity is evil guy. Number 3, the white knight guy. Number 4, the we're all one guy. And number 5, the it's all your fault guy.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck all of them.
So.
Not literally.
Not literally. So let's move on to the pressure player. Pressure player is.
It's funny.
You know what I want you to do?
What?
I want you to look up some quotes.
Okay.
Right? Because he's gotten himself into some deep shit lately.
Yeah.
So let's see why.
Sure.
So the pressure player for this episode is Mr. Donald Trump.
Who is the second time being pressure player?
Right. Was he?
Yeah.
What was he pressure player before?
Well, when we did an episode on because he dug himself out of bankruptcy,
yes.
And because he never quit.
With the homeless guy in the street talking to his wife? Right.
Yeah.
Right. I got you. So Donald Trump. So the reason we say Donald Trump is a pressure player for this episode is Donald Trump does not give a fuck. Donald Trump is going to do what he wants to do. He's going to say what he wants to say, completely regardless of who's affected by it. So he got into a lot of trouble with his statements on immigration. Now, to his defense, and not that I'm a Donald Trump fan, I guess beyond, the context of what we're talking about right now, but it's not like I'm rallying for Donald Trump for president. But what he said was not describing all immigrants, but specifically illegal immigrants.
He went a little crazy.
Well, he went crazy.
I'm calling it up now.
He went crazy. But the thing is, when he made these statements, he had society, because it seems like all of society, just completely just lose their minds over what he said.
Yeah,
even
people want to kill his daughter.
Well, I was going to say, you finding the quotes?
I have the quotes,
and you have the quotes.
Yeah, I have quotes. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, even up to the Mexican cartel leader,
Yeah.
El Chapo,
Which is an awesome name.
incredible name,
Awesome.
muy excelente,
Yeah.
who wound up escaping from prison and saying he's going to kill Donald Trump.
It makes sense.
So what are some of the quotes?
Okay, so here's a Mexico one. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
Doesn't give a fuck.
They showed a picture of how many fucks he gave, and it was just an empty box. He was like, "Here's how many fucks I give. Before I do the speech, I just want you to check this out."
The box said Trump. So the thing is, is he talking about every Mexican? Of course not. He's talking about illegal immigration. We have a problem with illegal immigration in this country. So to take his comments and somehow say that he wants to nuke Mexico, it's just ridiculous. Is it crass? Is it insensitive?
Yeah.
Is it harsh?
Yeah.
Do you need some
funny.
ketchup for those harsh browns?
it's
Well, of
funny.
course. But it's Donald Trump. Who gives a shit? Toughen up. What else we got?
So, and this is not Mexico, though. He said, we have a $5 billion website. I have so many websites. I hire people. They do website, cost me $3. Talking about healthcare, the healthcare website. It's hysterical.
Hey,
This one's good, too. When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China in a trade deal? They kill us. He's like, I beat China all the time. Oh, man, he's funny.
And no matter what you think of Donald Trump, you cannot call him weak.
No, he's not. He's crazy, but he's
He
not weak.
is the opposite of weak. He is the guy who does not care what anybody thinks, when it comes to what he's going to do, what he's going to say.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who walks the walk. He was given, like, one of the big criticisms for Donald Trump is he was given a fortune by his father.
Yeah.
And the rich guy who was given a fortune is still rich.
Yeah.
Like, great.
We lost it many times, got it back.
Lost it, got it back.
This is a good one. This is the last quote for him. On getting Mexicans to build a wall to keep themselves out of America. He says, I will build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me. Believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will make Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words. Nobody builds walls better than me. Like he got up and he was like, I'm going to be president, and the Mexicans are going to build the wall for us because I'll pay them. He's wild.
Oh my God. He's awesome. So the pressure player on a Death to Weakness episode, I am completely comfortable making Donald Trump. So
And that's
Donald
a perfect
Trump.
example. You don't have to agree with everything he's saying. But
And obviously we're not agreeing with everything he's saying. But it's the mindset.
But it's that mindset that he's like, hey, guess what?
That's what I
He's like, this is what I got to
think.
say. Yeah.
All right. So the unicorn, this unicorn is now the unicorn for how many times?
6.
This is the sixth time unicorn.
He was the 5-time.
Five.
But now he's 6.
Six-time
Yeah.
unicorn. Barack Hussein Obama.
Again, yeah.
This fucking guy.
Yeah.
So Barack Hussein Obama,
Yeah.
who just recently Geraldo Rivera was defending on some Fox show.
Was he?
One of the anchors, and I don't know all their names, but one of the other guys had referred to Barack Obama as the skinny community organizer.
The skinny white dude.
And Geraldo Rivera lost his mind. He was like, is that how you refer? Is that how you refer to our president? Pretty disrespectful, when you think. Pretty disrespectful. And the guy, whatever. But they almost came to blows on
Yeah,
that
he almost
show.
threw a chair at Geraldo.
Well, Geraldo threw a folder of papers.
Did
and
he
was
really?
like, that's, what did he say? That's
Ludicrous.
Not bullshit. That's BS. Yeah. He was like, that's BS. They were arguing. It was crazy. Anyway, Obama. So why is he the unicorn?
Why?
Because he is the epitome of weakness. He's not one of the useful idiots. No, he's one of the guys pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
Recently, the administration released its housing plan. And what it plans on doing is diverting federal funds to combat the issue of segregation in our country. So basically, what that means is He's having the the housing and urban development department, some shit like that.
Yeah.
The HUD.
HUD.
He's having HUD divvy up funds to support, I guess, ethnocentric neighborhoods, to support them building housing to promote multiculturalism and diversity in those neighborhoods.
I see.
So in these, I guess in the name of equality,
Yeah.
he's going to give some people money.
Yeah.
Just certain groups money.
Give them some
which
money.
by definition is not equality.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
So
not everyone's getting it.
not everybody's getting that money. So
Yeah.
how are they going to get this money? In the form of housing.
Yeah.
If the government builds housing and they're trying to be diverse, which means they're only going to allow certain types of people to move in, right? So there is a prejudice there, right? There is a segregation in the process of who you're allowing in this housing.
Yeah.
And you're giving it to them in a sort of Section 8 manner where it's super discounted.
Yeah.
Now what you're doing is you're basically allowing some people to live in a neighborhood in a subsidized manner,
Correct.
right? All for the sake of diversity. Now, what is he really doing? What he's really doing is breaking up the identity of any groups, and furthering the Marxist notion that we should all think of ourselves as one. We should all think of ourselves as only Americans. Excuse me.
Yep.
And that any other group that we would identify ourselves as is contrary to the goals of the government.
Correct.
So now, what are the problems with this concerned? Well, there are a whole shitload of problems. Number one, the federal government should not have anything to say nor do with who lives where.
Correct.
Somebody buys property, somebody develops property, somebody sets prices, people pay those prices, they move in, they can't afford those prices, they move out. That's the way it should work.
Yeah.
If
America.
if you don't live in an affluent neighborhood, it probably means you don't have enough money to live in an affluent neighborhood.
Correct. That's generally how it works.
And to say that, looking at a financial division and making it about race, it's the MO of the Obama administration.
yeah.
Suddenly it doesn't become these people are wealthy, these people are poor. It becomes, well, all the white people live here, all the black people live here. Well, how come we can't get more black people to live where the white people live?
Yeah.
I see no move to make white people live where the black people live.
Why not?
Right? Because you know what happens when that happens? You know what it's called?
Gentrification.
Gentrification, which is condemned by everybody.
Correct.
Right? So when you make moves to make more white people move into black neighborhoods, it's called gentrification.
Oh, the irony.
And it's condemned by everybody.
Yeah.
But when it's the opposite, it's somehow some sort of moral crusade.
Correct.
Right?
Look at that.
Fucking Obama. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
All right, Pat.
Yes.
Death to weakness.
Death
break it
to
down.
weakness. So if you happen to be listening to this and you identify with any of these 5, take a hard look at yourself and fix
Big
something.
jump out of a window.
Yeah, jump out a window. And please decapitate yourself. No. No, you can fix this, right? What is the definition of weakness? Lacking an active pursuit of strength, right? You're not climbing the ladder. Start climbing. Like if you feel yourself stagnant, you feel yourself leaning towards these weak positions, climb the ladder. Find a ladder to climb. You might be at the top rung of yours. Doesn't mean there's not a new ladder you can find to help you seek strength and become more powerful. And that's what everyone should be doing. Seeking strength, climbing the ladder, becoming more powerful.
Well said. So the saying here at the Pressure Project is pressure to power.
I've never heard that.
It's true.
It's a pretty good one.
Pressure to power refers to building up a resilience based on overcoming resistance. No resistance, no resilience. In order to have big muscles, you must lift heavy weights. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So all of these conditions, these 5 people, all of them are completely set against the notion of pressure to power. All of them are people who are looking to calm the sea rather than fix the boats. Make stronger boats. That's where power comes from. That's where resilience is born. Nothing has ever been accomplished in this world, in this universe, from weakness. Nothing has ever been overcome by avoiding conflict. It's the nature of reality. And those people that reject strength in the name of weakness are people who reject the very reality in which they reside. Thank you, folks, for listening to this episode. Great time as always. Glad you could spend it with us. We understand that the Pressure Project wouldn't be going anywhere without the power players, and those are you guys, all of our fans that listen. Keep those emails coming. Every once in a while, we get somebody now who wants us to die. But for the most part, almost on a daily basis, I'm getting messages from you guys letting us know how the podcast has changed your life somehow for the better.
Which is awesome.
And I love every single one of those messages, and I love you guys for sending them. So please keep that up. We love what we do. We got a passion for what we're doing here. And it's nice to know that we're not alone. We're growing.
Yeah.
The revolution will not be feminized.
100%.
Thank you, folks, for listening. We look forward to speaking to you on the next episode. And as always, brothers, pressure to power.